We empower our community. Empower our community through our land. Through our land. Through our land.
Welcome to Through Our Lens podcast, the podcast where we focus on empowering the African American community. My guest today is the lovely Miss Nickie Evans. Welcome, beautiful. Thank you so much for coming on my platform.
Absolutely.
The title today is The Talk We Need to Have, an African American specialist on addiction and recovery. So, Miss Nickie, can you briefly introduce yourself and your experience as an addiction and recovery specialist, particularly focus on your work within the African American community?
My name is Nickie Evans. I am a clinical counselor, ADCIP, that stands for Addiction Counseling in Process, meaning that technically I'm in process. I have not taken the test, passed the test, and officially received my certification, but I am in process.
You will be.
Right,
That part.
absolutely. I am not a person of recovery, but I am absolutely the product of two parents of substance abuse. My father had maybe 13 to 17 years of sobriety prior to me burying him in 2006 from cancer. He was sober. My mom is recently back into her recovery. 6 months sober. I'm so proud and so happy for
Yes.
her. She's thriving. She's doing good. She's looking good. She's feeling good in every opportunity that she has to thank me. She does that. So that's my reward in itself. Just seeing her being happy and living. She's no longer just existing. She's living now. So I'm happy for that. Um, and I am the proud wife, 22 years,
Woo woo!
of
Hey!
my husband, Mr. Dante Evans, mother of three beautiful daughters. Work my nerve, but they mine. I'm going to stand by 'em. 33, 26, and my youngest is 21 and a senior at Spelman College. I'm proud of
Yes!
that. I have a stepson who's a recent graduate of Winston-Salem State University.
Yes! I love it.
And I have four grandchildren and one on the way, so I'm praying that's gonna be it for a long
Wait a
time.
minute, Nickie, you a girl?
Uh-huh. Four
Girl.
four grandbabies. Two girls,
Girl.
two boys, and one boy on the way.
Baby, when
Yeah.
I become a grandma, I want to look like you, Nick, okay? I want to look like you.
Girl, it look like, don't feel like. I wake up every morning reminded I'm 50. But it's good. It's good considering things that I have went through, survived, dealt with in life. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. And black don't crack. So
It don't.
it don't crack. So you just take care of yourself. But outside of that, I have a bachelor's degree in psychology and social work. I have an associate's in criminal justice. I'll probably never use criminal justice and social work as a focus, but I am absolutely willing and have worked with alongside those agencies and grateful for it. I've learned a lot working in the substance abuse field. I recently stepped away from an agency, Counseling Services of Lancaster, that I was with for 5 years, would have been 6 years February. But I started to feel the burnout. Um, and I felt like my wings were not going to be able to be spread as much as I wanted them to. So it was just time to step away. I still call it home. I'm still in a good place with those people that I work with. Love them dearly. Respect them. They're some good individuals. And I forever call it home. But I just feel like it was time. God wanted me to move in another direction so that I can continue to grow and spread the love across this great county that I call home.
Yes.
Because there are so many different genres and aspects that I felt like I was not able to reach. I was absolutely talking to and working with them outside of the realm of work that I was working in, and but I felt like I was being boxed in, just working with drug court because I was the Veterans Court and adult drug court counselor for Lancaster County. On top of me conducting substance abuse education groups within Lancaster County Detention Center (LCDC) for females and males, and I was backing up the counselors at the agency for assessments and doing other things. But you get to a point where you have to realize you can't do it all.
That's right. That's right.
I didn't want to spread myself any thinner. I felt like I was losing focus of what I felt my personal mission was, and I had to reel myself back in. So I took a step out on faith. Took a step out on faith and separated from the agency, but I'll still be working in this community in several different aspects. I'm still connected to many different agencies and community organizations in the community. I am a Lancaster Breakfast Rotary member. I am a member of the Lord, the name is so long, the Community Outreach Advisory Board to County Council.
Yes.
I am also a member of the Health and Wellness Advisory Commission for Lancaster County. So I'm trying to do my part, but I'm also trying to make room at tables for a lot of us that have not been privy to seats at these tables. So I'm working my way.
Well, we've had the pleasure of working in the same space with each other, and you make a difference.
Thank you.
How many people I've spoken to, how you've impacted their lives because you're so transparent and you love on them at the same time. And you're not afraid to share your story. So, girl, I appreciate you. And so many other people do.
Thank you.
And I'm so delighted to be able to have you here to share you with my audience. So, with that being said, why is it important to have a specialist focus on addiction and recovery within the African American community?
Because for so many years, and I'm speaking on years that I've been alive, my oldest memory of drugs, I'm going to take it back to South Middle School days when we had Just Say No. I'm that old. We had Just Say No. Then I think it evolved to Dare. And now we have nothing, which makes no sense to me. Because Lancaster County, Lancaster, South Carolina, when I started with counseling services in 2020, we were #1 in the state for the highest number of overdose deaths. In 2025, last I checked, we're #2. Little old Lancaster. Why wouldn't you have these programs that I personally learned so much from to help our youth? Before they get to the point or get to that stage where somebody offers them something or they're in spaces where it's there and they don't know what to do other than fall under peer pressure and use, which it only takes one time. Why not go ahead and have these educational pieces in place for our youth, middle school, elementary nowadays, so that whenever they're presented with these situations, they know how to handle it. Right. That's what saved me. That's part of what saved me. I was raised in a bootleg house. But because of those programs, I knew. And I knew from my grandma and my mama, you do as I say, you don't do as I do. I knew not to touch that. I knew when I saw the first time I was presented with a white substance and a $20 bill rolled up, that was bad. That's cocaine. You don't do that. I don't need to talk to this guy. I knew that. So what baffles me is the lack of information that's been poured into our community in particular when we're absolutely affected by it.
Oh, yes.
Especially when it was the crack era. The lack of, when I started in 2020, I never forget me and my partner, Rico Robinson, we pulled up on Ferguson Street at one particular house. It's well known in the city limits. The yard was full of people. Nodding out, I'm talking about visibly under the influence. We jumped out of the vehicle. He had a box, I had a box of Narcan. We was passing it out like candy. And one guy was like, what's that? So, I educated him, explained to him, oh, I don't need that. I don't need that. I don't do no dog food. That's what they call heroin on the streets. I pop perks and do Roxys. Those are opiates. So just just hearing him say he don't use dog food, not even educating himself to know that what you're using is still the same as heroin, it's just in pill form, sweetie. And you still could die from it. And what we know, fast forward 2023, 24, 25, laced with fentanyl and killing people, you don't even have the knowledge to know what you're using, that it's an opiate, and that you absolutely need this box that I'm handing you for free and know how to use it so you can save yourself. Because I haven't met a person yet that uses substances with the intentions of killing themselves.
Right.
It starts out that they just want to have fun and party. But it turns into something that they're relying on in their minds to live. They're not going to die from it. The withdrawals make you feel like you're going to die. I've seen it. But it's not going to make them stop using it. And it kills me to hear people die from it and they didn't have no Narcan around. So we, just as a community, have not been educated enough on the substances on the street, but in particular the black community, we're always last to get the information. So when me and Rico started going out, when we put boots on the ground, and I got to just see and have conversations with our community to see how much they were, and these programs had been in place a few years before I became a part of it. I was the first case manager that counseling services had. To know that these people a lot of people didn't even know where counseling services was. They didn't know anything about these free services that were being offered, that the government was pouring millions of dollars in funding to have these free services. When I started with the COPE, Comprehensive Opioid Abuse Program, in 2020, it was running off a $4-point-something million grant. They didn't even know about it. They didn't know about it. Nobody was really telling them about it. So I made that a mission, not to just get it out to the black community, but the community in itself. Because if you look at the statistics, it's not really mostly black that's dying from this fentanyl.
Right.
But we're absolutely being affected. The stereotype that is in the black community is it does not affect us because we don't use these substances. But what's real is now fentanyl is being put in everything, including crack, which is primarily the substance that black people use. And they're using it thinking that it's crack because it smells like crack, look like crack. But it's laced with fentanyl and they dying.
Yes. I think, because, I'm in a environment where I see them actually go through the withdrawals. And I will remember one young lady in particular, like when she came in, she was different. This baby had the Bible every day that she was there. She read that Bible. She was in her Bible. The other females doing whatever, just whatever. She was in her Bible. And the day it was time for her to go, she told me she was shaking, like crying. And I'm like, what's wrong, baby? Like, you about to go home. Like, you about to be around your kids. Everything that she was talking about she wanted to do, and she said, I'm scared. And I said, I don't know. I really didn't know then. I just was like, scared? What you scared of, girl? Like, you gonna do fine. You got this. She got out, and it wasn't 2 weeks later. She was gone. And I thought then, like, oh my God, this is something serious. Like, she was sober the whole time she's there, and then she just gets out and she's gone. Yeah. And I thought back to that look on her face, like, people don't understand. Like, me, I didn't understand till I gained more insight from being around people who actually experience addiction. Yeah. What it's like for them. Yeah. It's a struggle.
It is.
It's a struggle.
And it's a choice. And you're going to have people argue you down, especially in this community, because we're so far behind, as we have always been. It's a choice. Y'all are enabling them by giving them Narcan. No, we're not. We're trying to save lives, number one. That's number one. Number two is, These people, if they didn't have to, or if they didn't believe that they had to have these substances to survive, to feel normal, to function every day, they wouldn't do that. Nobody grows up, wakes up saying that they want to go through withdrawals, go out here, steal, kill, to obtain a substance that will make you feel normal or keep from getting sick, going through withdrawals. Now, I know because of my education that you're not going to die from withdrawals. Now, you can die from one substance. You can literally die from going through its withdrawals. That's alcohol. That's alcohol. But the stuff that they're using on the streets now, they're not going to die from that. But you can't tell a person who is throwing up and using the bathroom at the same time and arms cramping up and they can't stand up or walk. You can't tell a person going through that they not dying.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can't. They're not gonna hear if you can just fight through this for 2-3 days, you will be all right. All they know is what they're going through at the moment. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's absolutely a lot of misconceptions, but it all leads back to not being educated. Mm-hmm. I will say that in the time that I've worked in this field, the education piece has gotten a lot greater since I started in 2020, but it's still a long way to go. Mainly because you got these people that just don't want to believe what the facts are. Mm-hmm. They want to believe that it's a choice. It was a choice the first time you chose to use, but once you become addicted, at that point you in survival mode.
So, in your experience, what are some of the unique challenges and obstacles faced by people who are struggling with addiction?
Being from a very small rural town, Lancaster, we are lacking major resources that could potentially help a lot of people. Transportation. I'm just going to start with the basic stuff. Transportation, housing. I know when I first became a part of drug court, they have a guideline that they go by. One major thing that they were looking for that you had to have in order to be a part of the program was you had to have stable housing in the community. So when I came on board, I was like, and one thing that y'all probably know about me is a lot of times I ain't got a dog in the fight. That don't mean I'm not going to speak up. Right. I'm always going to speak up. I'm going to say my piece. I ain't never scared not to. So I was like, think about it. Do that even make sense? Because most of the people that we are servicing, they don't have stable housing. They don't even have an address. They may give you grandma's address because everybody know grandma's address. You know, everybody know that grandma's still there and she gonna get the mail. She gonna keep it. But they ain't seen grandma in probably 2 years. You know, these people couch surf. They're from pillar to post, streets, sheds, wherever. You know what I'm saying? They don't have stable housing. A lot of times you have to think outside the box when you're working in this field. And when you're working in a town, a rural town with very, very little resources, you got to consider other options. What's working for Charlotte, what's working for Rock Hill, it's not going to work for Lancaster. So I was grateful to be able to shed the light and let them see we need to consider letting people in this program and send them to long-term treatment. Mm-hmm. So it got to the point right before I left, we probably it was probably close to 50-50. Just as many people we had in long-term treatment versus people we had in environment, if not more. But it's giving them opportunity. They fit all the other criteria to qualify for that program. They just didn't have stable housing. But when you got programs out here that are 2, 3, 4 years, because Lancaster County's drug court program is 2.5-year program. When you got programs that's going to allow them to be there and transition, they may start out in this phase, but they'll transition into their own housing. Mm. They have to work anyway. When you have programs that's going to take them out of this environment and give them the tools that they need to thrive, go for it. And so they've been doing it, and this has been working, and I've been just blessed to be able to see it and be a part of it.
So, what are some of the cultural or societal stigmas surrounding addiction in the African American community, And how do these stigmas affect individuals' willingness to seek help? What's some stuff you think like holding us back, girl?
Back to what I was saying. You got so many, and it boils down to lack of education.
Like,
In southern town, we've been raised give it to the Lord, give it to God. Well, yes, by all means, give it to your whoever your higher power is. But God didn't mean for us to be just ignorant to the changes of the world either. You know what I'm saying? So, you hear a lot of, I've had a lot of people tell me, well, all they need is just get themselves to God and surrender to God and this, that, and the third, which is one reason why we have so many faith-based, most of the free programs that you'll find in South Carolina are faith-based. And that's all they want to do. They want to just pour the Bible in you. They don't offer any MAT, which is medically assisted treatment, like Suboxone and stuff like that. They don't want you to do anything. Just everything is faith based. I don't knock that because that obviously works for a lot of people. But a lot of people don't want faith based. A lot of people are not religious or spiritual. A lot of people need. If your history is 25 years long, you've been using opiates for 25 years, you're going to need something to keep you stable for a period of time until you can get to that mindset where you say, okay, I'm good with not using anything and I'm just going to lean on the treatment side of it or the God side of it. But with black people in particular, we are definitely give it to God. We're very prideful people. We're very private people because I knew I was raised up in family, in both sides of the family with what goes in our house stays in our house. You weren't born in a glass house.
Right.
We hinder ourselves by trying to be so prideful and private. Because we're trying to shield and hide what's really going on, we handicap ourselves from the help that's available to us. I know that I have spoke up on a few different platforms announcing what I do, available resources, and 99% of the time it's going to be free resources. I can count on one hand how many times people don't reach out to me, and I know y'all got people that need my help or at least need the direction that I can give. So I would say the biggest thing with us is just being so private and prideful, and the lack of just being educated about what it is and how you can get the help.
Do you feel like maybe sometimes people are so private because they fear the judgment that
Absolutely.
may come behind?
Absolutely. Not to mention, most black families don't have good relationships with law enforcement,
That's true.
DSS, all the supporting agencies. They don't want to let, they got fear that if you let this information out, then you got to get involved with these agencies. No, that's not what it's about. There are all types of laws to protect individuals when they're trying to, even on your job, when they're trying to get help for themselves. Most jobs have an EAP where if you got something going on, you can go through your EAP and it's private. They're not even supposed to let your employers know what's going on with you. Where you can go get counseling, treatment, whatever it is that you may need.
How does addiction affect families and communities within the African American population? Are there intergenerational impacts you've observed?
Yeah. The cycle.
The cycle.
I consider myself a unicorn. I am the product of two parents of substance abuse, and I've had several other family members, close, immediate family members, that use substances. But I don't drink, smoke, none of that kind of stuff. I may take a drink occasionally, but anybody that's around me will tell you I'm a punk. If I can taste the alcohol in it, I'm not going to swallow it. It's like my throat closes up. But that's very rare. Do you hear that? Most children, most families, it's a cycle. Until you just come across that individual that likely received some form of an education or there was some individual that stepped in and showed them that you don't have to continue that cycle. It only takes one adult to make a lifetime impact, positive impact on a child, which is why I'm such a proponent of OGs, people that have lived these lives, gangs, drug abuse, selling drugs. Now that you on this side of it, you need to be giving back. You
That's
need
right.
to be teaching
That's right.
and telling the truths about what really come with those type lifestyles. Because children have a tendency, or young adults have a tendency to mimic who they consider icons, or somebody that used to live or can relate to the lifestyle that they're living. If you know that you're that individual, I feel like it's your responsibility to go back and
That's
have
right.
these conversations.
That's right.
So you can give it to them 100. What I look like trying to have a conversation with a child, a gang member. I've never been a part of that lifestyle. I've been around it, but I've never been a part of it. But if you've been in it and you understand it and you made it through and you know that that is not a lifestyle for anybody, that's your responsibility to go back to these children, to these streets, and let these people know that. I feel the same way in what I do now with families. You don't have to let what you saw your parents or your grandparents or your uncles and aunts consume and put in their bodies dictate how your life turn out.
That's right. That's absolutely.
You heard that saying, what you eat don't make me shit.
Yeah.
I refused. I refused. I was affected enough in other ways, but I feel obligated now that when people look at me and say, how did you escape it? How did you turn out to be and do all that you're doing, being raised in these type of environments around this kind of stuff? Because in the midst of all that, I still had family that wasn't a part of that, that told me, you do as you say, not as you do as I say, not as I do. Or you do as we say and not as they do. I had family that taught me. I came from two very intelligent parents, educated. My mom has a degree. Out of 6 siblings, she's the only one with a degree. She still fell victim to drugs. My father was military. He still fell victim to drugs. It don't discriminate.
That's right.
It
You're
absolutely
right.
don't discriminate.
Right.
But me knowing that I came from good roots and I had family members that taught me better, and bumping my head and stumbling a little bit on my own, I just knew that that wasn't no lifestyle for me. I wanted better. I was going to be better, and I definitely wanted better for my children. Absolutely.
Are there specific types of substances or addictions that seem to be more prevalent or have a disproportionate impact on the African American community? What are the reasons behind this?
Cocaine. Cocaine and cocaine-based substances like crack. Alcohol too, but mostly with the African American community, our substance of choice is cocaine and crack cocaine. Now, with that being said, because fentanyl is being put in everything, I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, many people that have died in this community that thought that they were using cocaine or crack cocaine from overdoses, it was laced with fentanyl. So you can't even, that was one of my biggest fears with my mama. I really wasn't worried about nothing else. I had made peace with her lifestyle and what she was doing. But I just didn't want her to get a hold to some bad stuff. And I mean, and there's no way around it. There's no way around it. So it does not matter what your substance of choice is. All of it is being laced with fentanyl.
Even weed.
I responded with the coke team to a case in Kershaw, South Carolina. Kershaw. Where a guy, and I believe him, he said, I don't do drugs. He said, I never did drugs. He said, I went to a house party. He said, they passed him the blunt. He hit it. He said, when I woke up, EMS was standing over me, bringing me back. It had been laced. Same thing with alcohol. Same thing with alcohol. Another guy said that he drunk some punch. He woke up, EMS was standing over him. They had done, yes, ma'am. And you would think that people wouldn't be that dirty to do that. But yes, they will. But you think about it like this. Some of the best advice I got in reference to drugs when I was young came from a drug dealer. He told me, he said, don't let a drug dealer fool you. We are just as bad as the person we selling dope to. They addicted to the dope and we addicted to the fast money. So they lacing it with fentanyl because the fentanyl is what's making them come back. I had people that I was servicing in 2020 when I first came into the field that was coming in counseling services terrified, scared to death that they was going to get a hold of some fentanyl. Wanting to get help, wanting to get off drugs because it was killing people. Fast forward to 2024, 25, these same people coming back in counseling services still wanting help because all they using now is fentanyl. All they want now is fentanyl. That's all they want. The fentanyl is what enhances the drug, no matter what the drug is. It makes them keep coming back. That's why the drug dealers is adding it. It's about money to them. You can't make money off, but I say you can't make money off somebody dead, but they don't care about that because for every person that probably died, they done made buku money before they get to somebody who died. But at the end of the day, they still don't care. They don't care. They care about the money.
What cultural factors, both positive and negative, influence addiction and recovery within the African American community?
Culturally, negatively, I'm gonna say it. I'm not gonna place the blame on the music that we listen to, but when you have celebrities and people that these young people look up to that are using glamorizing, using substances, because I mean like literally, I hear some songs now and they're referring to drugs, but they're using street names. I'm like, did he say that? That. But the positive side to it is we have more attention that's being brought to it. Because I know when I first started in this, again, a lot of black people didn't think that this opiate epidemic affected the black community because our substance of choice is stimulants, cocaine, crack, until it started to mix. The drugs started to mix. So now that's being light has been shined upon that, and people are realizing it now. The positive impact to that is even the people that are still using are more mindful now. Like counseling services offers fentanyl testing strips and xylazine. Now I hadn't even got on xylazine.
So they have strips to test it?
They have, yep. Now let me be clearer. Wow. Let me be clear. Because I had one of my clients tell me, she said, now, we test it to see if fentanyl in it, but that does not stop us from using it. It just tells them how much of the dope that they need to use, which still is dangerous because it only takes 2 grains of salt, like 2 grains of salt of fentanyl to kill you. But yeah, there are testing kits out there. Now, xylazine, which street name Trank, it's a animal tranquilizer used like on elephants. So you think about you taking the dose that they give an elephant, what's gonna happen to you? Right, okay. It gives you the same effects as opiates, heroin, fentanyl.
So it gives you that high.
It gives you the same high, same effect, but it's not an opiate. So guess what?
Oh my God.
Narcan not gonna work on that. You gone. And there has been a few cases. There has been a few cases in Lancaster of people overdosing and dying, and it was xylazine. Yes, ma'am.
So you won't know the difference between if it's, you just gonna have the high. So you won't know the difference between if it's fentanyl or tranquilizer.
No, especially if it's mixed in, it's mixed in all together. You could think you using crack cocaine and it's laced with xylazine. My mom told me, she said she tested positive for everything. She said, Nickie and I never used meth or fentanyl or heroin, but
all of it
mixed together. Yeah, and see, the xylazine is the one that eats away at your flesh. So a lot of times that's how you can tell the difference in what people use. And you got people that's what they want. They just want xylazine. It eats away at the flesh.
So when you encounter people that have like the little open wounds, is that?
That's likely meth.
Okay.
And meth is a stimulant, but statistically, meth is being used mostly by the white population. Mm-hmm. But crack, it ain't really no more crack on the streets no more. Not in Lancaster.
Really?
It's meth. It's meth. That is how I was able to do what was necessary for me to get my mama the help that she needed. Because she had one episode, and I had been waiting on it for years, and I had told her it was no surprise. It was nothing done behind her back. I had been telling her for years, if you ever give me the opportunity to sign them papers and get you the help that I know you need, I'ma do it. And she got a hold to it. Meth is being connected. They're like doing studies now to a lot of mental health issues. I've had a lot of people.
Really?
A lot of people that was coming to me when I first started in this field, that was using meth, was telling me, still tell me, something going on in my head. They never had a history of mental health issues, but like bipolar schizophrenia, a lot of that stuff is being connected with meth use. And especially if they already had underlying mental health issues, or they may have had underlying issues and didn't know it, and the meth brought it out.
So if they already have underlying mental health issues, and they start to use,
It just enhances it. Yes, ma'am. So with my mom, she already had a history. But my mom, now mind you, my mama's history with crack cocaine goes back to when I was maybe 14, 15 years old. I'm 50. So I done watched her all these years on crack. I done watched her behavior. But the way she acted this June, which I already knew. And I told her. I told her a couple years back because, people that use meth, they can't be still. So I had ran up on her because I would roll up on her at the dope house, especially if she done did something. And I said, you do know that that's not crack that you're using. That's meth. And she looked at me and said, I know. That's not going to stop them from using. But this June, she exhibited some behaviors and did some things that she ain't never did. But I thank her for it. Because it gave me the exact amount of ammunition and what I needed to go ahead and get her the help that she needed. And she don't mind me saying it. She's under 2 probate orders. And I don't regret signing them. And that's another thing with us, with our black community. We act like we are afraid or we scared of somebody being mad at us if we take the steps to go get them the help that they need, like signing probate orders, signing papers to get them committed. But you ain't got a problem with putting them in the ground. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I'd rather you be mad at me sitting up in somebody's jail cell or somebody's mental hospital or anywhere, long-term treatment, than me have to bury you. Period.
that's true. How does the strong black woman / man potentially hinder individuals from acknowledging their struggles and seeking support?
How do they hinder them from it?
When you think I'm the strong, I'm good, I got this.
You have to just break through that tough skin. You have to break, and it's a process, and and most times it's a long process. But you just gotta have patience. And I try to tell my clients, the people that I work with, because a lot of times when people get sober, they expect everybody to automatically just start back trusting them and treating them like they treated them before the substance abuse became a problem. And I tell them that same amount of time of patience that your family and friends had to have for you to get it together you have to give them the same amount of time times 3 to gain their trust back. So you have to, it's a long process, and you have to find patience, the patience of Job. But you break through that tough skin and show them that, and you're asking me, a person that think they're strong, or you talking about a person that's strong, how do they get through?
Like a person who think they're strong, like they're strong enough where I got this.
They don't need the help. Yeah. You got to have the patience of Job with them. And just give them enough time to hit rock bottom. Because a lot of times they're not going to see it until they hit rock bottom. Probably anybody you talk to that has had a very bad stint with substances will tell you that in the beginning they thought they had it. They thought they could control it. They didn't think it would ever get to the point that it got to. it took them to hit their rock bottom. Whatever their rock bottom is. Rock bottom could be losing everything. I'll never forget, we went out, one particular client I had, she had sold everything out of her house, including the HVAC unit. She was cooking her food over an open fire like the cowboys used to do back in the westerns, with an open fire with the black pot hanging over her. She was cooking her food in a black pot in her fireplace in her house. She had sold anything of value to support her addiction.
Oh my God.
Yes, ma'am. And it don't discriminate. This woman lived up in Indian Land, nice area, nice house. From the outside, the house like a mini mansion. She didn't have a piece of furniture or a curtain up to the window.
So everything.
Yeah. You have to let people hit their rock bottom. And when they hit their rock bottom, try your best to be there for them best way you can. Don't enable. A lot of people, especially families, enable for a long time.
So when you say enable, what do you...
When you see them and you know that's what they got going on. Your light's about to get turned off. No, I'm not gonna give you the money. If I choose to help you, I'll go pay it. Give me your account number. You hungry? Come over to the house and get you something to eat. Tough love. Don't make no excuses for them. Don't pacify them. You got to put your foot down. Because what happens is you enable them, and before you know it, it's done consume your life. You letting what they put in their body dictate how your life go. So you stressed out. You sick. I'll never forget my oldest daughter called me. She said, Nene called me crying. She was crying. My daughter was crying. So immediately, I'm thrown off. I'm thrown off. My mind went all the way to the left because here go my child calling me. She crying, and you telling me my mama somewhere crying. Nene said this woman in Southside said she was gonna jump on her and cut her. Something. Generally, my mama, I'm the last person she don't want to talk to whenever she was out there in active use, because we reverse roles. I become the parent. She the child. And I learned it from her. I can say things to her. I never disrespect my mom because I was raised better. But I know how to say things to my mama to cut her down to the wick. And she don't want to hear it from me. So she would avoid me at every cost when she was in active use. But she'll call everybody else in the family. She won't call me. They turn around and call me. So, for the most part, I was able to kind of stay away from her activities and things she had going on when she was in active use. But this particular day, I got thrown off when my child called me crying. So, I just so happened to come to Market Street when she called me. I made that quick right because she was back up in the Robinson Road area. When I pulled up, and I'm a licensed carrier. When I pulled up, she was walking with a bag and she was crying. I said, what's going on with you? What's up? The girl said she was going to jump on me. You got to know her. She about your age. So all I heard was, she my age. You got a problem with my mom. She said she know you. You know me. You take that up with me. I don't care if she smoke more crack than they make.
That's still your mama.
That's still my mom. You're not finna put your hands on.
That's right.
So I said, get in the car. She said she probably at another house. I ain't gonna say the name. Another house. I said, all right. I'm in Southside now. I pull up in front of the house. I jump out. I don't even remember getting my gun. I'm sitting there, the owner of the house standing in the door, and he like this. And I'm just waving the gun. Tell that outside. Tell her come outside. You got a problem with my mama, you got a problem with me. I done forgot all about she in active addiction and whatever else done happened. I don't even know what happened, to be honest. Or if it's true. Long story short, I get in the car, I take her home. Because she had been out. My mom used to go on these rendezvous. She'd get gone for days. She had been gone a couple days. I bring her back home. Within 2 days, she was right back over there. That was it. I told my children and everybody else in the family, I said, unless she bleed and you know she hurt, don't call me. Because I could have messed up my career.
Everything.
Everything. Here I am in jail, sick, stressed out, headache, and she happy and high. I ain't doing that no more. That was a wrap. That was a wrap.
Are there some culturally specific approaches to addiction treatment and recovery that are particularly effective for African American community?
It ain't. I wish.
It's not just.
I wish it was a one-all fix-all.
It's not.
It depends on the individual. It depends on the circumstances. It depends on the substance. It's a lot of depends. No, there's not a fix-all. Absolutely not. I wish. Some people tried. Their addiction may last a couple months, couple years. You got some people, they've been getting high for 30, 40 years. My mom was 40 plus years. And it's a disease they live with for the rest of their lives. It's a disease. It's truly a disease. People be sober for 20, 30 years and they may have a relapse. Only thing you can do is encourage them to don't stay down there, get back up.
That's all right. I remember it was this young lady, and they big on don't tell, if you see somebody don't tell, and she had came to me and told me about some drugs being where it was supposed to be and whatnot, and she said, Mungo, I've been sober for almost 2 years. She said, but when I just heard that it was around me, she said I could taste it in my mouth. She said, Mungo, she was like shaking. I'm like, she was like, Mungo, my hands got sweaty. I wanted it so bad. She said, Mungo, and I ain't been around it in 2 years.
Yeah. I had an individual tell me he did good for 3 years. And when he rolled through, just mind his business, riding, he rolled past one of the spots he used to get high at. He said he almost jumped out of his skin. Oh, my God. He almost jumped out of his skin.
So that's why, they have a story too. Yeah. And I think when you get to talk to people who are addicts or who have suffered from addiction, it gives you more insight onto what it's like. It drives you, it takes you into their world, what it's like for them. You know what I'm saying? You might know what it's like for the people, their loved ones and stuff who've impacted, but what is it like to walk in their shoes? Yeah. And so me being around so many people and hearing so many stories, I'm not really judgmental because I understand they have a story too.
In my opinion, any professional, you in your professional position, me and mine, you are absolutely doing a disservice to the people that you are providing the service to if you don't take the time to hear their story and understand their perspective of it. Who are we?
That's right.
You will even have people tell you that if you have not lived the experience, you shouldn't be working in this field. And you sound like a dummy. You absolutely sound like a dummy because you can't tell me as a child that was raised up from here to here, lived in it, watched it, saw it, went to sleep to it, woke up to it, that I can't tell you a thing or two about addiction and substance abuse. No, I didn't put it in my body, but I definitely watched what it did to some of the closest people in my life. So if you don't, I will say if you don't have some form of personal attachment or experience in the field that you're working in, no, you shouldn't be doing it. Because a book is not going to teach you nowhere near what you need to know. Yeah.
So are there any particular resources or organization that you would recommend for people seeking help with addiction?
Oh, yeah. Any of them in your area. Any of them. And I'm not going to say this just because I have the clinical background, but I am a proponent and believer that if you're receiving treatment for substance abuse, it needs to definitely have some component of clinical treatment involved in it. I don't believe that you should just go to faith-based and scratch everything else. I think faith if you have a faith, should play a role in it. But you definitely need the clinical component of it because there's too much. And nowadays, they've linked. It's running parallel, substance abuse and mental health. These people need professional help. They need the clinical component of the treatment. So any organization that has a clinical component involved in it, they definitely need to reach out to it. There's programs for those situations that are extra hard. The families may not even know. Be an advocate for your loved ones that are battling with substance abuse and mental health. You can go talk to your local probate office. Apply to get probate orders, which are court-ordered orders on your family members or loved ones, friends. It does not have to be a family member to file these applications.
Oh, so it doesn't have
No,
to be a
ma'am.
family member.
That's
Okay.
another wrong stereotype that's been pushed out there. You cannot even know the person and be in food line minding your business and witness it and go up there and sign paperwork. Yes, ma'am.
Wow.
But it needs to be what you saw. And it needs to be within, I'm going to say 24, 48-hour period. You can't go up there and say, last month, I saw her.
So it need to be something very recent.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Programs like drug court, and I always refer back to drug court because I'm a little partial to it. But I also have an uncle that graduated that program, and I have seen him thrive and do so much better since coming through that program. Now, this is a man that had his criminal history. If you stood his criminal history up beside me, I'm sure it was taller than me. But this man was in and out of prison, in and out of jail. And this is the only program I've seen him be a part of that has made a difference in his life. So advocate for your family members. Advocate for your people to get involved in these programs. Contact their public defenders. Contact their attorneys. Advocate for them to go in. Lancaster County, you will hear people say, well, they don't take violent offenders. Not true. Not true. I will say there are certain violent crimes that will not qualify them, but try it anyway. Tell your attorney that you want to at least apply. Try. Get them in these programs because it works. My personal experience, I've seen better results come out of people that have accountability attached to their treatment. Accountability means court orders. If they were strong enough to do it on their own, they would never get to that point. They would never get to the point where they're having to be incarcerated.
That's right.
They would never get to the point where they're robbing and stealing and killing. They're not strong enough. Most of them not going to be strong enough. Get a court order. You can ask anybody I work with, especially within that jail or anywhere else. I was not going to work myself to death. I wasn't going to do it. I'm having conversations, and I told them to their face, I will have a conversation with your probation officer, with your attorney. But I'm telling you to your face, I'm going to advocate for you to go into long-term treatment and have a court order. Because if you do not abide by it, they need to put you right back in jail. I don't have a problem with people going to jail if it means saving their lives. I have no problem with that at all.
It's funny that you say that. It's so many people that I've encountered when they leave, when they're battling like addiction, and they always tell me, to the point, I hate when people say that to me. Miss Mungo, this your last time seeing me. I ain't coming back. And a lot of them don't come back. And I won't ever see them no more because they're dead.
Yeah.
So to a certain degree, I'm like, this kind of was like their safe haven. Because soon as they got out, they were gone.
I've had people within LCDC that I work with tell me the only time they've been sober is when they was in LCDC. So I commend LCDC for that. Because we know drugs can get in anywhere. But I've had people tell me the only time they've been to prison. They say I got high the whole time I was in prison. The only time I was sober was when I was in LCDC.
So what prevention strategies are most effective in reaching the youth and adults to prevent addiction?
The earlier the better. the earlier you can start to pour into children, families, the better. Because again, the earlier I can identify what it is and the dangers of it, the better my chances are to turn it away, to not touch it.
So is that like when you were saying that? Are you referring to like the programs that you were talking about, like we used to have back in the day, like Dare,
Absolutely,
and stuff like
but
that?
because we don't have them, then it falls on us, the families, and the schools. But I don't want to put too much emphasis on the schools because we know that the teachers and the professionals there have enough to regulate and deal with
Right.
just making sure that our kids get the education.
Right.
But we as families, which me and my husband, one of our goals, matter of fact, this month we're going to be participating in a training to become certified family peer supports.
Oh, yes.
So that we can start working, and I'm just throwing it out there. I've had some conversations, but not a lot. Working with just start on the low level, working with churches, working with other families. I'm hoping that a lot of people decide to come in and get the certification so that we can start educating the community. Everybody does not participate in these community events they have on Main Street and wherever else. Number one, we live in a very rural area. We don't have public transportation. They can't get there.
That's true. That's true.
Or some of them just not accustomed to coming to that type of stuff. So we still missing a large portion of the population because these conversations are not taking place within our churches, within our community centers. It even baffles me that we have community centers, Heat Springs, Lancaster, but we ain't doing no type of community nothing. Back when I was growing up, community centers was known for places where the kids would go after school, where the community had gatherings and meetings to inform the community. I don't hear about none of that kind of stuff. You hear about somebody having a party there in a minute.
That's true.
But that's it. So we got to get back to that. We got to get back to educating. You're going to hear me use educating a lot because that's, to me, from my perspective, that's what we're missing a lot of, just educating our community. A lot of them won't act like they don't want to hear it. That's why I feel like it needs to be spread up across the board in different, on different platforms. Because, again, if I've never been a part of a gang, but if I bring a gang member into these conversations, I'm not shunning him because he used to be a gang member or a drug dealer or a drug addict. I'm involving them in these conversations. They can take it back to the hood, to the ones that we can't reach.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
That part.
So what policy changes or advocacy efforts are needed to address the systematic issues that contribute to the addiction within the African American community?
I'm not really a political person like that. On purpose. But just a little bit of stuff I have heard. I know that legislatures, they working on trying to get the marijuana laws in place. But you know what? And this is my opinion. A lot of things ain't gonna come to fruition until they figure out how they gonna get their money. But I believe, and I hate to sound like a politician, but we're gonna have to be mindful and we're gonna have to get out there and vote. Regardless to what you believe is or ain't gonna happen, your vote don't count. Yes, it do. We're gonna have to get up as a community. If they say a pair of Jordans is about to hit, I don't thank you Jesus. I had girls. I didn't have to worry about buying no Jordans. I don't even know the names of them, but say a pair of Jordans finna drop. The line will be wrapped around the corner.
You better know it.
They be out there camping out in tents to try to get them Jordans. That's the same kind of lines we need to have when it come time to vote. Certain people, certain constituents in place that will dictate how to keep these drugs off the street. Do your research. I'm not a Democrat. I'm most definitely not a Republican. I take the time to research candidates, and I vote towards the one that has a history of doing things that align with my lifestyle and what's going to benefit my household. You know what I'm saying? Do that. Do that, because there's a such thing as people jumping from Democrat to Republican, whichever way they feel like the pendulum going to sway. They'll change their candidacy to fit that because they want to win. We got to quit falling for the okie doke. We got to get out there and vote. We got to be mindful of the people we putting in place.
Sorry.
I don't understand how some people just be in the same positions for 10, 15, 20 years. The world is constantly changing. So how you think somebody who been in this position for 20 years that's still looking at it likely from the way he looked at it 20 years ago is going to be able to keep up with the times now? We need to get people that are like-minded with the way this world is changing and really genuinely want to change it for the better, particularly our community, and get these people in these places so that we can change this community. It's been the same forever. Forever. And don't get me wrong. You got a lot of them that's in place, that's been in place for a long time. They are doing the work. But it takes more than 2 or 3.
That's right.
It takes more than 2 or
That's
3.
right.
Get these old heads that ain't trying to change or just don't care. It look good on their resume. They getting paid for it, whatever. Get them out the seat. We need new people in there that's going to make Lancaster done had a lot of potential for a long time. It's just time.
Amen.
It's time. It's time.
It's time. So what are some practical steps our listeners can take today to become better allies and support individuals in the community who are struggling with addiction?
Get involved. Get involved. You heard me mention the commissions and the boards and clubs that I'm a part of. If you know me, you know me. And for me to be a part of these boards and commissions and clubs, if I can do it, I promise you it's a lot more people that should be involved. And I've approached a few people about becoming a part of these organizations, and I have not gotten one person. And don't get me wrong, a couple of them they busy. They're busy because I don't just approach anybody. I try to approach people that are already making some type of impact in our community, and I feel like they got something to offer. They got something to bring to the table. But don't sit back and have conversations and complain, and you're not willing to put the work behind the action.
That's right.
And I am actually a part of the membership committee with Lancaster Breakfast Rotary. I'm having the hardest time trying to get people to join. I've even had some people come to me and say, "Well, I heard all they're about is politics, and they really don't make room for us there." And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make room for us at these tables. I'm trying. And politics, we're not even allowed to talk about that type of stuff. It's genuine people that want to make a difference and do good things, provide community service, because that's what it is, for the community that we all live in and call home. Because you have to be a resident of Lancaster County. So I just feel like we need to get involved. We need to get involved. I am proud to say that one particular advisory board that I just joined, matter of fact, it's mostly us.
Oh, yes.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
And I mean, and it's older. It's older and somewhat younger, but we had some good deep conversations, and I expect a lot to come out of this particular one. You know what I'm saying? But it ain't enough for us a part of stuff like this. It's not, and it's all you got to do is apply.
I'm glad you said that, because I went to an event that was hosted by the sheriff office, a free event for the community. Come out speaking about different things that's impacting our community. It wasn't none of us there like that.
Yeah, that's
And
it.
I couldn't understand. It really hurt my feelings because everybody show up for the funeral. Everybody show up for the funeral when people dying behind overdoses, being killed like this.
But keep in mind the distrust. Now, I'm going to say this because you said sheriff's department. There's a lot of distrust between the community and law enforcement, period. You're not going to see a lot of us, point blank, period. Now, that's not to say that if United Way hadn't had some, you still probably wouldn't have seen a lot of us. But that goes back to putting the information where they can know about it, for one. Because that's one topic that we discussed on one of my advisory boards is old people don't have social media. A lot of them still getting a newspaper.
True. That's true.
But a lot of
That's
younger
true.
people ain't getting a newspaper, right?
That's true.
Unless you're willing to put boots on the ground and go to these places, put up flyers in these communities, like Palmetto Place. Make flyers, give them to the church secretary so she can read it out during church announcements. You got to think outside the box and get the information out there. So I do know one problem is lack of communication. We've even asked that the county start to, because they, and I don't know about, I wasn't prepared for that, but I can get it to you. There's a website that the county runs where they put announcements on there. We've asked that we have to bring it to them a few weeks in advance so that they can include it and put it out there. But just like I didn't know about it until I became a part of this board, people don't know about this, So it's still a process getting the information out there. That's one problem. The other problem is transportation. That's why I was telling you, they have all these events. I saw on, I think, Facebook, they just did something, was the city that did something on the hill. It was slam packed. Sometimes you got to take it to them.
Oh, that's good.
Sometimes you got to take it to them.
That's good.
It was slam packed out there.
That's good.
But you thinking every time you do something for the community, it's got to be on Main Street. They either not going to come because they feel like it's not really for them in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Oh, a lot of people, the people out in Beaufort, Antioch, out here, they ain't got no time. How they going to get up there?
That's true.
So if we can connect, I'm just going to throw churches out there. Rotate it. Set up at different churches in different communities where people can get to it. We gonna have to. I mean, it may sound like a lot, but it's necessary.
Absolutely.
It's necessary. Yeah.
Absolutely. So where can our listeners find more information about your work or the resources you recommend?
Considering I'm in between careers, if you know me, know my family members, know Miss Mungo, friends with me on social media, you can reach out to me that way. If I'm not able to help them, I would definitely point them in the right direction. Most definitely point them in the right direction. I am hopeful that my path, the path God has me on, is going to lead many, many, many doors to open for me for 2026.
It is.
And I'm ready.
Let's claim it, okay? It is.
And I'm ready. So once I kind of get a little settled, the dust is settling now. Hopefully I'll have a more direct way for people to contact me. But in the meantime, just get in touch with me the best way you can.
Gotcha.
I'm right here.
So one thing I wanted to also touch on, where can they get Narcan from?
Counseling services is one of the community providers for Narcan in Lancaster County. No questions asked. They can go there and ask for it, and they'll give it to them. Now, they're not going to give you 10, 20 at one time. There's 2 in a box. And they actually take the time to set up the kits. So the kits they have at counseling services has gloves in it. Most of the times, they may give you the xylazine and fentanyl testing kit along with the Narcan.
Okay.
I want to say, but don't quote me, I think DSS has picked up certification too to be a community provider for Narcan as well. And it's free. And I'm going to say free one more time, because I've had people come to me and say that they went to their primary care doctor's office and they could get it from there, but they was charging them $75, $80.
Oh wow.
It is free with no questions asked. If you just walk in the front door off Main Street, 114 South Main Street, and ask for Narcan, somebody will get it to them with no problem.
If you don't mind, could you discuss how you administer the Narcan
Narcan? Okay, so
for people who people won't know how to
easy.
do it?
Easy. It comes in a nasal spray. And it's a white tube and it's got a red button in the middle that you press. So if somebody goes down, a lot of times when a person is overdosing, you can even see their heart. You may can see their heart beating in their chest, and which is indication to you they're still alive. But what happens is the brain is not telling them to breathe, so they're really suffocating to death. A major indicator is that the lips turn blue. They're going down. They're not responding. Lips turning blue. Lay them on their back. Make sure they're on a flat surface, of course. You want to take that first container out and press it, put it in one nostril and press that button until you can't press no more. Once you release it, turn the person back on their side because you don't want them to aspirate, throw up, and drown in their own vomit. If that person, by then somebody done call 911. If that person still has not come to after maybe 45 seconds to a minute, lay them back on their back, take that second one out of there, hit them in the other nostril. And if they ain't came back after another 45 seconds, somebody need to be giving CPR,
Okay.
giving breaths until, the ambulance get there. But it's not hard. And I encourage anybody, any and everybody to carry it. I keep it in my car. Counseling services now even have them in little keychain packs that you can put on your keychain. Me and my husband got them because I done been in a place and seen somebody go down. Just mind your business. You can be in a grocery store and see somebody go down. You don't, when it's something as simple as, just hitting them with Narcan to keep them alive, you want to do that. Again, if it's xylazine, it ain't too much you can do. But you're not going to just know that. You know what I'm saying? But be mindful. Now, in saying that, let me say this. Because y'all work in the jail and y'all done seen COs get exposed and go down. There are kits, and I ordered mine off Amazon for CPR and first aid because I'm CPR, first aid, and AED certified. I'm even certified to be an instructor. Get the face mask. Have y'all seen this little plastic sheet and it's got like a little square where you breathe through. It separates. It really separates you from being skin to skin.
Oh, so you can't get exposed
Exactly.
to it. Okay.
Get that.
Gotcha.
Now, in a lot of cases, you're not may not be in a position to use that or think about it, but it's good to have, even if you do think about it, because contact to contact with fentanyl, you subject to go down. So that's why you need to try to keep at least 2 on you, because if you using one on them and then you go down, what the hell they gonna do to save you?
That's all right. That's all right.
Yeah. So we keep it in our vehicles, and we keep it because you just don't know.
Can you explain to my audience, like, fentanyl, you might can't see it. Like, it could be on the surface of something. You might just touch it and you're exposed.
Yes, ma'am. Definitely. On a surface, on somebody's skin, y'all done seen it. I'll never forget that one particular inmate we had that had my whole group in there laughing. He was he was a trustee, and he was washing clothes. You know what I'm talking about. And he said when he went to gather up that person's linen, I think the person, I don't know if the person was going through withdrawal. But anyway, that person sweat, whatever else. He said all he knows is he went to put the linen in the washing machine, and he said he just kind of felt funny. He said, let me get this chair and sit down. He said when he sat down, he said his arm just kind of went limp. He said, what in the world? And he said next thing he know, his heart started fluttering. He was like, something going on. And they ended up having to take him to the hospital. He had been exposed to fentanyl. So, yeah, it ain't no joke. And I'm sure people take that into consideration. Don't let that discourage you from helping somebody, because we all mandated and people can press charges if you witness something like that and you don't do nothing. But just try to be as mindful as you can. Be mindful as you can, because it ain't no joke. And yes, simple exposure can take you out too.
What is one final thought or key takeaway you want our listeners to remember regarding addiction and recovery within the community?
If you truly care about helping this community with all the because let's be honest, when you look at the root of a lot of the crimes that's been taking place in Lancaster County, it's drugs. Whether they selling drugs, using drugs, most time using some form of it. If you really care about this community and want to help it to change, get involved. Get involved. Ask questions. Have the hard conversations. Educate your babies. Educate your family members. Advocate for each other. Support. Support your constituents and your leaders that are out here trying to make a difference and in the substance abuse field and make this a better community, because I've had several opportunities to leave Lancaster and stay gone, but I chose to make this my home and raise my family here. I had opportunities, still have opportunities, to work in other counties doing what I love and I know I'm good at. But I choose to stay here because it don't sit well with me to know that I'm providing these services to people that are not in my community when I know the need is right here. Right here.
Yes.
Tremendously right here. So support us, encourage each other, get involved. That's what we need.
Get involved. Get involved. Well, thank you so much for coming on my platform and embarking on this journey with me to educate my audience on what we can do to play a part in help saving our community, not just African American, but the community as a whole.
Oh yeah.
I'm grateful. I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
There's so many others that appreciate you.
Thank you.
And thank you for what you do.
You're welcome, and tell them I love them all and I miss them all.
I will. And to my audience, please make sure that you stay tuned and like and subscribe.